My name is Risk, or Kelly Gravel, otherwise known as Risk. Well, the concept for the gallery was easy because it was like the anti-gallery, so to speak. It was like I wanted my friends to come show stuff that they have brought to galleries before, and galleries are like, no, that's not sellable, that's not commercial, that's not this, that's not, or just stuff that they want to experiment with and don't have the pressure of the gallery that has the infrastructure that has to turn a profit, so the galleries are nervous about it. This is like a spot for us to do different mediums and do different stuff. You know, our business is selling prints online, so that's how we support ourselves. So the gallery is extra. Whatever happens, happens. So we don't have pressures, normal pressures of a gallery to show what the public wants, so to speak. Graffiti art has changed tremendously from 1990 till today. Number one, it's just mainstream today. In 1990, you still had an element of a subculture. People that were running around, hiding from the law, doing graffiti. But it was turning in 1990 too. It was like right at the point where it was becoming noticed. But nowadays, to be a graffiti artist, street artist, whatever you want to call it, you don't really have to do illegal work. You could have never done illegal work. You can be famous and never have done illegal work. And I don't think that a criteria for being an artist is, or graffiti artist or street artist, is doing illegal work. But it's just definitely changed, with the internet. Before, I had pen pals in Europe, and we'd send letters, and it would take months for us to actually see each other's pieces. This is before the internet, and now you post a piece, and 2 seconds later the world sees it. So it's pretty crazy. I think that's good though. I think that's good because it creates like a higher level of art. Back in the day, I got arrested and chased and beat up by cops and all that stuff. I never had a problem with it. But later in life, I did the Mocha show, and I had a certain city attorney and detective that were relentless, coming after me, just harassing me. And I was like, what's the deal? And they were like, well, you made all your fame and your fortune, so-called fortune and fame, by being a glorified vandal. And I'm like, I'm not even here to talk about the past. That may be true, but what I'm doing now is I'm working with kids and giving back and working in Skid Row. I'm doing all these things to show kids what they can do. What's the problem? And I just thought their mentality was so fucking stupid, ass backwards, because I was like, let's just take all the NASCAR drivers and put them in jail because their ancestors ran moonshine, That's an interesting question. I'm a very eclectic person. I like, for a big portion of my graffiti career, I was listening to punk rock. I hung out in Venice Beach, listening to Suicidal, stuff like that. And I guess my stuff was a lot more angry looking, I've always listened to classic rock. I'm from New Orleans originally, and I've listened to Zeppelin's my go-to, my all-time favorite band, always has been. But I listen to Skinner, I listen to all this stuff. And I guess nowadays I'm listening to, well, I still listen to everything, but like now that I listen to less punk, and people think my work is a lot happier. And I never thought about that, but maybe maybe that has something to do with it. When I was selling canvases, 20 years ago for $10,000, which was a lot of money back then for a canvas, so I thought, I was selling to collectors. I wasn't selling to people that were jumping on the bandwagon or thought it was trendy. They were genuine collectors that were watching the movement, that were investing. And nowadays, you sell canvases for maybe $20, $30, $40, $50,000, whatever, to a lot of celebrities. Some of those celebrities have substantial art collections. A lot of people have new money, don't have real art collections. They're buying stuff that they love, which is cool, but they're not really buying as collectors. They're buying as tokens. I guess I don't know how to say it, but so to answer your question, it's kind of weird because even though a lot of people are buying, what's it doing for the fine art movement of our subculture? I don't know, because what I see is unless you're in some certain major collections, nothing really matters. That's all surface stuff. The book took about 7 years, and Roger Gassman, a friend of mine that co-curated the MoCA, and he's done many books and curates, came to me and said, "Hey, let me see your photo collection." I said, "All right." I showed him all these photos, and he's like, "Oh, that's incredible." And I was like, "Really?" Because every time I've moved or I got kicked out of studios or whatnot, I've lost tons of photos. So I didn't think it was that substantial, but he thought it was very substantial, and I had a bunch of early pieces that were valuable. So he spent the time scanning them and retouching them and stuff like that. And once he did that, he's like, "Let's make a book." So I said, "All right, let's make a book." But he said, "I don't want to make a graffiti book." And I think I did want to make a graffiti book. I wanted pictures of my burners, And he's like, "Nah, let's just make a book about you as a kid from New Orleans that came out here and lost his way and found his way through art." And that's what the book's about. So, when I first saw the book, I was like, "Man, this stuff sounds terrible." And he goes, "No, that's great. That's all your first stuff, your first sketches. Like no one really has that." And it has like a lot of personal stuff, my parents' divorce papers and just weird stuff. And I'm really thankful that Roger stuck to that program and the book came out the way it did, because it's a stepping stone for me to do the other books I want to do. So now I can do the stuff where I want to flex and show the stuff I'm proud of and this and that. And it only makes sense to do this book. So, and the stuff that came up in the book, I forgot about it until he pried and got it out of me. So it's a time capsule, I guess. So it's cool. Definitely not similar to what I do. I just want stuff that I want people to come here and say, "Hey man, I've been working with this stuff. I want to show it. Kind of not sure about it. This is the home for that." Like our next solo show is Scene, and everyone expects letters and graffiti and canvases or superheroes or whatnot, and it's going to be oil abstract paintings. So I'm really excited about that, and I think that overall is what I'm excited about in the gallery from each artist, having them show something that's not common in their genre.